Alex. It was nice to hang out with you at the show. Okay, so I'm gonna tell a quick story here about losing a bit of my hobby soul, because I truly feel like I lost a bit of my. I was saying my hobby identity at the show after I did that deal, but then I'm like, no, I didn't. It's not an identity thing. It's like a bit of my soul. So I moved a card that I had owned for 15 or 16 years. And it was like, for most of those years, it was the best card in my collection, like from a value perspective. And it was a card that I was going to, sell to pay for my daughter's wedding kind of card, or sell to put a down payment on my kid's house sort of thing, and I took it with me because, well, first of all, it's a Bobby Orr rookie card. I'll tell you what it was. It was my PSA 8 Bobby Orr rookie card, which I've owned since 2000. And I forget if I bought it in 7 or 8, but one of those 2 years. And it's a card that, like, when you've been collecting Hall of Fame hockey rookies for so long, and you need a Bobby Orr in that collection, and when you buy one of the 45 or so nicest copies in the world, it's a PSA 8. There's only 2 graded higher. I think it's now a pop 47 or 46. I checked, but I don't remember. But when you drill it into your own head that you own one of the top 45, say, Bobby Orr rookies, that's similar to being in baseball and saying, I own one of the top 45 Mickey Mantle 52 Topps cards, right? It's like, it's that kind of level of prestige that comes that came, at least in my own head, with having that in my collection. It was kind of like people knew I had it. I'd take it to the odd show just to show people that I knew would want to see it, friends and that. But I never considered selling it. And I did consider selling it for this show because I've since acquired a PSA 5.5 copy that I actually liked more. I actually liked it more than the 8. So, and there's reasons for that. So I had in the showcase, and I had several people ask me about it, and what do you want for it? And I had a price tag right on the front of it. People still ask, what do you want for it? Well, it's right, the price is right there. If you want to know what I want, I was like, well, what do you want to pay at that point? Anyway, a guy I know, I don't know him all that well, but people I know very well know him very well. So it was like he came up to the table. He was up from the US, and he basically made an offer. He was making it on behalf of his I don't know, friend or whomever. Made an offer. I countered. He said, well, let me see, let him know, I'll let you know what he says. He came back later on in the day, and he said, all right, he's willing to do it. And I said, okay, well, that's all. I'm like, okay, well, that's great. At the same time, I'm like, oh my gosh, did I just sell this card that has been kind of like part of my hobby soul for, I don't know. It's the first time I've spoken like this. It's the first time I've thought of it like this, that can a card really make up part of your hobby soul? Like, Reed, you picked up that like a very important card for your Jason Robertson collection. And by the way, it's not like we're talking about collecting a third string or a third line player. You're collecting a guy who is the real deal. Like, Jason Robertson he's on a great team. They got, I think, the best goalie in the league in Ottinger, one of the best young defensemen in Heiskanen. They've got other firepower up front, and we're not even talking about Jamie Benn and Tyler Seguin, like 2 of the veterans there. Like, they've got so much fire. I just think that's why I was so impressed with your pickup, Reed, because I just think Robertson is such a great player. So if you were to move that, like if you were to hold that and Robertson continues to have a great career, and you were to move that card for whatever reason, because you were happier with your 24 of 24, let's say, or for you're 20, you have 22 of 24, whichever one it is, you might feel like you lost. Like, I feel like I lost a bit of my hobby soul. Am I the one who goes?
Absolutely, absolutely agree.
Help me feel normal here, guys.
No, I totally understand. Yeah, I feel like there would be a piece of my heart that left me. It's been a part of you for so long. It's like 15 years, and it's not even like Jason Robertson's one thing. He's an up and comer. Bobby Orr, Bobby Orr,
best of all time.
Yeah.
So I sell that card, we work out the financial aspect of it. And I'm kind of thinking to myself, did I do the right thing? Well, I know that I did well on it from just what I got out of the card. I was happy with. And the more I thought about it, the more I realized I don't have any seller's remorse. None. I still, right now, I'd say I lost a bit of my hobby soul. That's a different thing than having seller's remorse. I don't have any seller's remorse because because I have another copy that I like even more. Even though it's lower grade, I don't care. I like it more. And there are reasons based on the condition why. The way it appears, its presentation, its aesthetic. Sam, sorry, you were going to jump in.
No, I was going to say that. If you got rid of your 8 Orr and it was your only copy, you would have felt like, wow, you probably would have never sold it. But I'm just saying, hypothetically, you got a crazy number and you're like, okay, then you would have been like, wow, that's like that's really a big card that like I lost a big piece of my heart. You know what I mean? Because they're close to you. Like you feel like you lost a piece of your heart. But having the 5 makes everything warm and fuzzy because you like it better.
I do. And the 8, I can say, and even the buyer knew it and said it to me. My 8 was a below average 8. It may not grade an 8 today, because of the inconsistencies with grading, with human grading. So it may not grade an 8 today, but is it going to be a 7 or a 7.5? Who knows? You'd have to break it out and send it back in. But the buyer recognized that it wasn't that it was a below average 8, and I knew all along when I held it that it was a below average 8, which is another reason why I was okay letting it go. If I had the best 8 ever, now I don't have one of the top 45 copies, and my copy might not. There are 7s that were nicer than my 8, so it might not have even truly been a top 45 copy. But if I had the best 8 going, now I've got a top 3 copy, and I don't know that I ever let it go because it's just such an amazing piece to hold. So, it made me, one thing I like about my decision was that I'm realizing more and more, over the just being so immersed in the hobby and in cards, I'm realizing more and more that the grade is not the end all be all. We hear about eye appeal, especially when it comes to vintage. It's so much to me. It's just more important. I'm truly happier with my 5.5, with the 5.5 representing Bobby Orr in my collection than I was with the 8.